Okay guys, here we are, lesson 10.3, areas of regular polygons. First off, when they say regular polygons, that just means something that has many sides. And if you take a look at the picture down below, this figure inside has 6 sides. That is a hexagon. And a hexagon is just a type of a polygon. Now what they did with the hexagon is they drew a circle around that hexagon, and that's called circumscribe, or they circumscribed a circle around the polygon, the hexagon in this case. Now when you draw a circle, you always end up having what they call a center, so that would be just the middle of the circle. From there, we have a few radii. So a radius means from the center to the circle. And since this is a hexagon, I have 6 radii. Now, a new word for us today that we have not seen before is an apothem. The apothem of a polygon is going to be the height, or you could also say the altitude. All synonyms. If you notice with this apothem, it starts at the center and it goes all the way to a side of the polygon. Okay guys, so in problem 1, all we're going to be doing is finding angle measures. And if you take a look at the problem, it says the figure shown is a regular pentagon. Now, as far as vocabulary goes, we do need to know that a pentagon is a figure with 5 sides, so you might need to familiarize yourself with some of that vocabulary. They're asking me what is the measure of each numbered angle. So if I kind of zoom in a little bit, the first one that I want to try to figure out is what we call angle 1. And angle 1 is referred to as a central angle in that figure. If you notice, it is right in the middle and it's kind of made by 2 radii. So to find a central angle, all I have to do is take 360, because remember on the previous page, if we drew a circle around this, a circle has 360 degrees. And I'm going to take that 360 and I'm going to divide by 5 in this case, because the figure has 5 sides, and I end up getting 72. So I know that every one of these central angles is going to be 72. Now next, I can go ahead and move to try to find angle 2. Because if you notice angle 2, it would be half of 72. So I'm just going to do 72 divided by 2 to get 36 degrees. So that's good. We got angle 1, we got angle 2, and now I'm on to getting angle 3. And so when I go to take a look at angle 3, I notice that, hey, right in here, this is a triangle, and we already know that every triangle has 180 degrees. So if I subtract out that 90-degree angle I see, and angle 2, which was 36 degrees, we just found that, we can figure this out. So I'm just using my calculator here, and I'm figuring out that angle 3 has to equal 54 degrees. Okay, so here is one for you to try. It's very similar to the last one. However, we do need to read these problems to pay attention to the words. This time it's saying a regular octagon. So we have to remember that an octagon is a figure that has 8 sides. And so in zooming in and taking a look, angle 1, again, is that central angle. And I can always find angle 1 by taking 360 and dividing by the total number of sides of the figure. In this case, 360 divided by 8 gives me 45 degrees. So we've ultimately found angle 1 is 45 degrees. And if I have angle 1, then it's easy for me to transition into finding angle 2. Angle 2 is going to be half of angle 1, so I'm doing 45 divided by 2, and I get 22.5 degrees. And then the last thing that we have to do is find that angle 3. So there's my right triangle, or really you could just think about it like, hey, it's a triangle, and every triangle has 180 degrees. So I'm going to say 180, take away 90, take away 22.5, and I'm just using my calculator here, and I'm figuring out that it's 67.5 degrees for angle 3. Okay guys, so on this page we just see a postulate. It's basically saying that if two figures are congruent, then their areas are equal. And that's because that in a regular polygon, it forms all of these congruent triangles. And so from there, we can get the formula for the area of a regular polygon. And we're going to see that more on the next page. Okay, so here we go. Area of a regular polygon, guys, is 1/2 AP. A is going to represent the apothem. And remember, that apothem is going to be the height of the polygon. Whereas P is going to represent the perimeter of the polygon. And so if we take a look here, if I am trying to find this perimeter means the distance around the polygon. And so there's a special formula to help me get that perimeter. And what we're going to say is that the perimeter is going to equal N times S. N is going to be the number of sides of the polygon, and S is going to be the length of one of the sides. And so we're going to practice this here in the next example. Okay guys, so here on problem 2, we're going to actually practice finding the area of a regular polygon, so kind of putting it all together. If we take a look, I'm going to just kind of start over here and write the formula that we know. Area equals 1/2 AP. If you take a look at your figure, one of the nice things is that this 12.3, that's the apothem. So they're already giving me that. That makes it a little bit easier. Area equals 1/2 12.3. Now, what I need to find is I have to find the perimeter. So remember that the perimeter equals N times S. N is the number of sides. And so if we take a look, it said in the problem that this is a regular decagon. That means the figure has 10 sides. So where I see N, I'll plug in at 10. And then S is going to represent the length of one side. And we can see from the figure that there's 8 inches as one side. So my perimeter will be 10 times 8 or 80 inches. And now I can plug that in here. And so from there, guys, all I'm going to do is use my calculator to figure out the area. So I'm just punching that in right now. And I'm figuring out that my area comes out to be 492. And don't forget, when we find area, it's always units squared. So 492 inches squared. Okay, guys, so here is a little you-try problem. So we're going to try this one together. This time it's a regular pentagon. So I know that means it's got 5 sides. And it says that the apothem is 8 centimeters. So we got the apothem. And then it also says that the sides are 11.6. So we have all the information we need. Area equals 1/2 AP. That's my formula. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the apothem. That's the height. They said it's 8. But I do need to find the perimeter. So remember, my perimeter equals N times S. N is the number of sides. If this is a pentagon, it has 5 sides. And S is the length of a side, 11.6, they told me. So once again, we have to get a calculator, and we're going to do 11.6 times 5 to figure out that the perimeter is 58 centimeters. And now we can plug that into our formula. So 1/2 of 8 times 58 will end up getting the area to equal 232 centimeters squared. Alright guys, since I am not here today, we are going to skip problem 3. So that means you are done with lesson 10.3. Your assignment is going to be a worksheet that the sub will give you. And on that worksheet, I want you guys to do 1 through 10. Please be sure to show the work. I will be back tomorrow and we'll go over any questions that you have. Thanks, guys.